The Ford Ranger is undoubtedly the synonym for mid-sized pickup trucks. However, the previous generation was just way overdue for a redesign. That's why Ford decided to release the all-new Ranger for 2024, which allowed it to rise to the top of the class once again. However, as good as the newly redesigned model was, it still missed the mark on a few notes, which is why Ford just announced a new and improved version of the all-new Ranger. To see what makes the Blue Oval's truck the best in its class, be sure to join us as we announce the show-stopping 2025 Ford Ranger that astounds everyone. A palette of phenomenally powerful and capable powertrains. In the day and age when downsizing of engines has become a norm, Ford remains defiant to the end. Unlike virtually all its peers, such as the Chevy Colorado, which have traded in their high-displacement 6-cylinder engines for overstrained 4-cylinders, Ford decided to offer a choice of 3 engines for the freshly redesigned Ranger, 2 of which are V6s. The least powerful of these engines is a 2.3 EcoBoost inline-4, which is essentially the same unit found in the Ford Mustang, just detuned to 270 horsepower. And credit where credit's due, the 4-cylinder is a fantastic powertrain for the Ranger in itself. It's economical, being good for up to 26 miles per gallon, which is more than good for a pickup truck of this size. It also has plenty of torque and can generally hustle the truck just fine, which is proven by its 7,500 maximum towing capacity. Plus, the 2.3 is always paired with a 10-speed automatic, which is one of the biggest reasons why the 2.3 retains good gas mileage while also offering plenty of torque. However, it's still an inline-4, and it can feel unrefined from time to time, which is where the first of the 2 V6s step in. The 2.7 twin-turbocharged V6, which was borrowed from the F-150, is expected to power the higher trim levels of the Ranger. It provides a higher power output while being torquey enough to serve as a proper workhorse unit. With a healthy 315 horsepower at its disposal and around 400 pound-feet of torque, there are a few things that can give the V6 a hard time in real-life use. And just like the 2.3, the 2.7 is fitted with a 10-speed auto, which once again grants it good miles per gallon figures, while also allowing the car to be a comfortable and powerful vehicle. However, the pièce de résistance is, by far, the 3.0 twin-turbo V6, which is reserved for the Ranger Raptor. Unlike the previous generation, which was essentially more of a trim level than a proper performance truck, the new Ranger Raptor will have upwards of 400 horsepower at its disposal and over 430 pound-feet of torque. This makes it easily the most powerful pickup truck in its segment, as well as being one of the torquiest too, easily beating out the likes of its biggest peer, the Colorado ZR2. However, as impressive as these engines are, what's more impressive is the fact that the first ever Ranger Hybrid is here. Yes, you heard us right. The Ranger will finally be getting a hybrid version, and this won't be some measly mild hybrid. No. Ford has decided to go all in and make the Ranger a plug-in hybrid. When it comes down to its beating heart, the hybrid Ford Ranger will utilize the aforementioned 2.3 EcoBoost inline-4 as its only power plant choice, and frankly, that makes a lot of sense. The 2.3 has enough torque as is and is fairly economical, and pairing it with an electric motor will just improve both figures. In fact, in terms of torque, the Ranger Hybrid will easily be the torqueiest version of the pickup truck, and by a long shot, with more than 450 pound-feet of torque, which is enough torque to kickstart the world if it ever decides to stop spinning. The best of it all is the fact that the Ranger Hybrid will be able to achieve up to 26 miles per gallon in urban areas, making it undoubtedly the most economical pickup truck on the market. Furthermore, the Ranger will have solid electric-only autonomy. According to Ford, the Ranger Hybrid will be able to cross up to 28 miles on a single charge, which makes it perfect for commuting around town. Well, almost perfect, as we're still talking about a nearly 18-foot-long pickup truck. However, Ford is still deciding whether or not they should sell the hybrid to the US market. This is because they already offer an F-150 and a Maverick hybrid here, and they're scared the Ranger will eat into the sales of both vehicles. And while we'd love to see a hybrid, we have to say that it wouldn't be on our top priority on the list of changes for the 2025 model, as the 2024 Ranger completely lacks off-road variants. Thankfully, Ford has realized this and decided to do something about this. As a result, we're happy to announce that the Ranger is getting an expanded model range. One of the biggest complaints that the 2024 Ranger received is the fact that the off-road trim choice is completely non-existent. If you exclude the Ranger Raptor, you're left with only 3 trim levels: the XL, XLT, and the Lariat, none of which are exactly beasts off-road. However, thankfully, with the release of the 2025 model, the Ranger will now have designed off-road variants, just like its older brother. This will be done so that Ford can now properly compete with its key rival, the Chevy Colorado, which is just a fantastic off-roader. According to sources, there will be 2 off-road-oriented variations, the FX4 and the Tremor. The Ranger Ranch will be a direct upgrade over the XLT in terms of off-road ability. It'll have jacked-up suspension, more rugged bumpers, and will generally have a tougher and meaner character. Price-wise, it is expected to sit between the XLT and the Lariat. The Ranger King Ranch will be a better equipped and more hardcore variation of the regular Ranch. It will essentially have similar equipment levels as the Lariat, except for, of course, being more adapted to regular bashing and trashing, instead of pure off-road ability. It is expected to be similarly priced to the 4-wheel drive Lariat. Also, the XLT is expected to get an expanded array of optional extras, which will allow buyers to have a well-equipped version of the Ranger that's also fairly affordable. All in all, we're exceptionally thrilled that there will be massive changes in terms of trim levels, as the Ranger always suffered dearly for not having a good palette of models. But we're equally as glad that it won't change in one aspect, and that is the Ranger's exceptional interior. One of the biggest downfalls of the previous generation Ranger was its interior. It was, without any sugarcoating, abysmal, to say the least. Dated technology, hard, scratchy plastics, and a very convoluted layout, coupled with a boring design, made it quite a dreary place to be in. The new Ranger's interior is, however, a completely different ordeal. The inside of the new Ranger is a blend of compact and practical design, like what we've seen in the Ford Maverick, and sheer style and quality that seems to have been borrowed from its older brother, the F-150. The Ranger feels both utilitarian and stylish at the same time, which is what sets it apart from the rest of the mid-sized pickup truck lot. Plus, the quality of the Ranger's interior has also seen a massive improvement. Gone are the acres of scratchy and squeaky plastics that made the previous generation so bad. In their place, we've now got loads of soft touch materials, leather-like material, as well as all new real leather seats with beautiful stitching and fantastic bolstering that grants both a lot of support and comfort. That said, even the lower trim levels offer quite a lot of standard stuff, such as cloth bucket seats, and a large vertical infotainment screen that looks like the one found in the F-150 Lightning. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also be getting a digital gauge cluster, which, albeit not as advanced as the top-of-the-line models, is still informative and intuitive enough. Speaking of models, it's time for us to address trim levels and pricing. Just like the 2024 model, the 2025 Ranger will aim at offering affordable yet solidly equipped trim levels. The most affordable version of the Ranger will be the Ranger XL, just as it is now. It is expected to start at around $33,000, and while it won't exactly be a luxurious vehicle, it will offer all the basics. You'll get good seats and solid interior features, and it will be more than sufficient for day-to-day use. Unfortunately, what you won't get are fully painted bumpers or other exterior trim, which will make the Ranger look quite poverty-spec. Oh, and 4-wheel drive is also a $2,000 optional extra. Next in line will be the Ranger XLT, and it will, in essence, be an XL with a touch of class and style. With the XLT, you'll be getting an updated interior in terms of quality, several quality of life improvements, as well as an expanded choice of colors that include the exterior trim, all for a $4,000 increase in price. And while that might sound tempting, we'd argue that the aforementioned Ranger FX4 is a better value proposition, as it will be only a few grand more expensive than the XLT. And for that money, you'll get a properly capable truck with 4-wheel drive as standard. Next up is the range-topping Lariat, which starts at around $45,000. While it is the best equipped of the bunch, we'd argue that it simply isn't worth the money, especially since it isn't 4-wheel drive as standard. Plus, it's perilously close to the Crew Cab F-150 XLT price, making it a tough sell. Finally, the aforementioned Tremor will be around $50,000, which isn't bad. However, we'd argue that the Tacoma TRD Off-Road does everything the Tremor does for more than $5,000 less.